thank you for your news, E. Of course, I shan't mention any more my lovely outings with Vincent if it causes you offence. Photo attached. Ah. And I do so apologise, I'm sure, if I've been boring you with my repetition. And I can't imagine where you get the idea that my repeating myself is anything to do with drink, as I am just a social drinker, as you well know. It's just old age. It can't be helped, as I keep having to explain to Leslie. Just you wait till it happens to you, my girl. I just hope that I'm around to say I told you so, when your little brain isn't quite as sharp as it is now. Isn't it funny, though? Here we are, 6,000 miles apart, and we're both primary carers for our little granddaughters. I must say, I think childcare is a lot easier the second time around. Although maybe it's just because Cheryl Marie is a much easier child than Leslie ever was. She doesn't bite your ankles for a start. Are you giving a nice little cuddle to Mr. Squirrel?
It's not a squirrel, it's a marsupial.
Is it? You asked me to tell you about the possum, which I'm sure I already have, but be that as it may, I'm the one who repeats myself, apparently. Yes, when you see them playing in the garden, they're really rather sweet. You know, you think you wouldn't mind them living in the attic, you know, if it wasn't for the habit of doing their business through the ceiling, which is... You can't believe it, can you? Just as I was talking about it, it's as if it was reading your mind. Oh, get on my head this time. Not to mention the lovely clean living room. God almighty. Ooh, ooh, it's drowned me Tasmanian chardonnay. I'll kill it. Now I've got to shampoo my hair before picking little Cheryl Marie up from school and ring Pete the possum up again. And scrub the sofa and disinfect the rug. And here am I, supposed to be enjoying my retirement and being cosseted a little bit in my old age. Boomerang blank. No, a grandmother's work is never done, eh, Vera? Oh, do give Karen my love.
Dream on.
And tell her that I will be mailing her soon.
Oh, will you indeed? Not on my computer.
It's such a pity you two haven't been getting on better, though. She's such a...
Lucky cow.
Lovely girl. Isn't it great, though, that she and Damon seem to be hitting it off so well?
Hitting it off, Karen and Damon?
Off for now. Take care. Love, Irene.
Vera at Farshaw's Trailer Park. Dear Irene, I didn't know a thing about Karen and Damon hitting it off till she announced that we're going to Saint-Tropez for the weekend. Apparently Damon's got associates in protection on a caravan site there. God, the Moscow Massive get around. I was, to coin one of Karen's phrases, gobsmacked. We shall creep out into the pantry, said the mole. With our pistols, swords and sticks, shouted the rat. I mean, needless to say, I was expected to look after Sabrina. Not that it's any hardship. She really is delightful, and I can always get a cuddle from her. Karen was such an unrewarding child in that department. She goes stiff as a board whenever I attempted to touch her. I can only assume Damon doesn't have the same problem. And rush upon them, said the badger, and whack 'em, and whack 'em, and whack 'em. I just couldn't stand having Karen as a guest a minute longer. She's turned my little dwelling upside down, just when I got it how it suits me. But when she returns, if she ever does, it went for 3 days and I've already been gone a fortnight. She'll have to make her own arrangements. Perhaps given her history, she should move in with Carol and Terry. I've reorganised the space so that Sabrina has her own little bedroom and play area. Without Karen's 14 boxes of makeup. including a do-it-yourself piercing kit. Oh, I say, never know when I might need that. And I can now get into my own bathroom. Oh. I'm thinking of getting a little extension built on, you know, if I can find someone to do it. My days revolve around Sabrina's needs, and I must admit, it's given me a whole new lease of life. Howard always said I was lost if I couldn't be a carer. Of course, that was usually when he wanted a day off school. Oh, and by the way, I know what you mean about creatures doing their business. Our site is littered with it. The other day, Sabrina came home and said she'd been playing with marbles. Imagine my disgust when I found out there were rabbit droppings.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Vera. Oh, my eye! That's my good eye! Oh,
Friday. Karen returned, very brown, last night, and informed me that she's moving in with Damon. On reflection, I'm not surprised. They're two of a kind, especially in their artistic tastes. They came back with a cruiser stacked with booze and his and hers fake Rolex watches. Given Damon's connection with the Moscow Massives, I'm surprised there were no Kalashnikovs. Can you turn the music down? It's Sabrina's bedtime. See, they never listen. Karen wants Sabrina to move in with them. Oh. Over my dead body. Well, I must stop now, as it's time for Sabrina's bath. And then I read her a story. When she first arrived, thanks to Karen, Howie and Ants, all her books were about one-parent families and children brought up by same-sex couples. It's quite an education. I've never given a second thought to Flopsy and Mopsy sharing a burrow. But we're so enjoying the wind in the willows.
Huggy!
Oh, huggy, as Sabrina says. Love, Vera. Oh, I'll attach a photograph of Sabrina and me taken by Carol. In you go, darling.
do send photos of you and Cheryl Marie, and of course the possum. Well, if I'm close enough to snap its picture, I'm close enough to snap its ruddy neck. No, we've had Pete the possum twice now, and it just doesn't seem to make any difference. The ruddy thing just comes back in again. What he does is he lays a trap in the attic, see, and he uses a bit of apple as bait, so the thing goes in after it, and snap, the lid comes down, and then, oh, you know it's been caught because it bangs about like billy-o. Oh, I shall never forget the first time it happened.
Hello? Hello? Emergency? Is that emergency? I don't know which service I want. I may want all of them. Cheryl Marie, get up, get under the bed for Grandma. I don't know, listen. Did you hear that? I think I've got convicts in my loft.
I mean, when the police, the ambulance, the fire engine and the flying doctor arrived, I felt a bit of a fool. Thank you for the picture of little Sabrina. Oh, she is a lovely little girl, isn't she? And so like her Granny Small. She's certainly got your nose. I am attaching one of Cheryl Marie, taken at a fancy dress party. She's the one dressed as Bo Peep. She's such a little actress, and yet she's very practical. Now, you see on the photograph how she's borrowed a telescope from little Captain Cook to look for a sheep. Captain Cook was the Englishman who discovered Australia. Mind you, if you ask me, it couldn't have been very difficult. After all, the Aborigines had already been living here for thousands of years, so they must have found it easily enough. Just returned from another wonderful day out with Vincent. It's such a lovely man, such good company. Do you know, he won't let me do a thing for myself when we're together. He even opens the car door for me, makes sure I'm settled in, and then goes round all the way to get in himself. Only time Clive ever did that was once when we were courting. And then he managed to slam the blasted thing on my fingers. They're still not parallel, look, even now. Vincent keeps talking about us going away for a weekend, but oh dear. I don't know how Leslie would manage without me. She works so hard, poor love. I hardly ever see her. We communicate through notes. You know, it's more like having another pen pal than a daughter. Change beds. Do weekly shop. Pick up dry cleaning and compost and Cheryl Marie. I had a super postcard from Karen the other day from Saint-Tropez. Telling me all about her exciting news. I bet you can't wait.
Thank you for informing me on your last of Karen's exciting news. It's certainly more than she'd bothered to do. It's odd to be told of your daughter's pregnancy via Australia when she's living only 20 yards away. We have the speed of technology to thank for that, I suppose. Have you got something to tell me?
No.
Now, don't worry about Damon being a bit wayward. You know, as I said to Karen in my last, this might be just the thing to settle him down. All for now. I hope this finds you, as it leaves me, thoroughly exhausted after a pleasantly enjoyable day. Irene.
She hasn't spoken to me since I confronted her over your email. But Sabrina came back from school demanding an iPod, whatever that is. So I've had to communicate with Damon. He's as pleased as a pit bull terrier with two tails. He's already making a list of names. And has started to call me Mother.
Big up, Mum. Hey. Fresh
Oh,
off the
thank
gym
you.
palace. How good is that? Anything you want? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Respect to the Moscow Massive.
Я тебя люблю.
Oh, yes, you blue. Thank goodness for them. I hope this doesn't find you as it leaves me. Hurt and confused. Vera. Howard. I am mailing to tell you, since I'm sure Karen won't, really, when I think of the money I've wasted trying to make her literate, that we're about to have an addition to the family. You will soon be the proud uncle of a boy named Wayne Cristiano or Ronaldo. I dread to think what the poor little might be called if it's a girl. Paris, Brittany, Jordan. Fortunately, Damon doesn't entertain the possibility of fathering a girl child. I only found out by a chance remark from Irene. Proof as ever that Karen cuts me cruelly out of her life. What did I do to deserve such barbarity? It'll be a different story when she wants baby clothes or a babysitter. Sabrina, by the way, has settled in fine. Seems very happy, probably because she has my undivided attention. Which is more than she ever got from her mother. Oh, I'm sorry, dear, if I'm sounding maudlin. Sometimes I think the world has changed in such a bewildering way. I no longer feel a part of it. Oh, get away, you nasty thing. Oh! No, I don't want to enhance the quality of my orgasm. Well, not at this time of night, anyway. I hope you and Ants are happy, at least. Oh, look! Oh, my love. Mumsy. Dear Miss Matthews, I understand from my granddaughter, Sabrina Small, that she must master the information superhighway in order to avoid being socially disadvantaged. Apparently, to embrace our digital future and make us the IT capital of the world, she needs a portable modem with calculator, console and heliport, all powered by nuclear broadband. I'm an OAP on an inadequate fixed income. Has the government considered people like us in its enthusiasm for this robotic visionary state, I wonder? I'm at a loss to know where to turn for finance. I wouldn't be foolish enough to expect a grant. Are there any charities I can apply to? Yours sincerely, Vera Small. Here you are, darling. You give that to your teacher. Don't forget. Bye. Bye-bye.
Another perfect day in paradise. Dear Vera, I'm awfully worried about you. You seem to have completely lost it. Did you know that you'd included me in your email to Howard at Sheep Dippers? I've had to write and tell him I don't think he knows what's going on. And I've taken the liberty of writing a little note to Karen at the same time in the hope of oiling troubled waters. Now, come on, cheer up. Think on the positive side. I've been reading all about it in one of Leslie's self-help books. She bought a job lot, you know, when a divorce came through. Now, it says you've to count your blessings and write them down, and you'll be surprised how they all add up. Oh, coming, Vincent. I'm sorry, I was going to help you to start a list, but now you see it's time for my tennis, so I've got to dash, but you start it off. It's probably more therapeutic if you do it on your own. Have you got your own balls, Vincent?
Blessings. Well, I'm still continent. There hasn't been a shooting on site all week. The chemical loo is working again. And there's a never-ending supply of crude oil on the beach. And free G&T, courtesy of the Moscow Massive. Oh, maybe not.
Dear Howard, as you can see, your mother has copied me to an email she sent to you in error, so I thought I'd get back in touch. How are you both? And the sheep? I feel quite at home here in Oz. And, you know, I think you would too. There's a lot of your sort of people out here. Sheep farmers. I mean, mountains of lovely wool. And I'm knitting at the moment bootees for Karen's baby. But what I really wanted to say to you is I'm very worried about your mother. I really think she needs a break from trailer park life. Couldn't you and Anthony have her to stay for a little holiday? Now, I know she can be difficult, but I do think it sounds like a real cry for help, don't you? Would you let me know how she seems when you see her? We don't want her drowning her sorrows, do we? And, you know, gin can be a curmudgeonly companion. Fondest regards to you both. Irene, Spencer. Oh, yes, Karen. Dear Karen. Here are the booties I promised you, knitted in unisex yellow. And thank you for your newsy letter. Yes, I certainly did tell your mother about the baby, as you asked. And you were right. It did come as a bit of a shock. But I'm sure that inside, she's just as thrilled as you are. Not. I think it might have helped if you'd told her that you and Damon were an item right from the start, you know. Well, because I think she thought of him as her special friend. Yes, she often mentioned him in her letters and, you know, his deliveries. So there may have just been a little bit of jealousy there. I don't know, just a thought. Anyway, dear, I know that you try to be as kind and patient with her as you can.
Sorry, dear. Am I in your way?
And of course I don't think you were selfish to move out of the caravan and leave her on her own. Good Lord, I mean, I travelled with her in a dormobile when we toured the continent. And I can tell you the entente was decidedly not cordial. No one hear you again, snapping your cellulite. I know she hasn't been the best of mothers, dear, but remember, you've always got me.